Welcome to the Seer Show. Join us as we explore medicine, health, mental health, mindset, and fitness, guided by lifelong seeker of knowledge, Sifu Raphael. He will lead us on a transformative journey with groundbreaking insights and extraordinary guests from around the world. Together, we'll dive into the latest holistic approaches to well-being and the profound connections between mind, body, and soul. Sifu Raphael's expertise in positive thinking, resilience, and personal growth will inspire you to reach new heights. Get ready for the Seer Show. It's time to embrace a brighter, healthier, and more empowered future.
5, 4, 0.
Good morning, Erika, Christopher. Thank you guys for joining me on the Seer Show. How are you today?
Very good, thank you. Good morning to you both.
Yes, good morning. Good morning. Doing great. Thank you.
Yes. So, Christopher, you're at a different time zone than we are.
I
Tell
am.
us.
Does it? Can you see? Can you feel the difference?
I can't feel it. I
I
can't see it, but I know it.
you know it that it's 12:30 a.m. here in Australia.
Yes, great. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show. Truly appreciate you.
My pleasure.
So, and Erika, you're in Boston, so we're in the same time zone. We're in Eastern time, so pretty cool. So today we're going to bring your mindset to a healthier lifestyle. And I'm so excited that you're both here with me because you bring different viewpoints, if you will, just like I do. We all have a different way of seeing things and even approaching things. So I'd love to get your take on what this all means to you. Let's start with you, Erika.
Sure. I think this is especially a great time right now to have this conversation a few weeks into the new year, because it's really testing people's mindset for everybody really who set out to change an old habit, to start a new habit, to drop a vice, to do a new endeavor. And I say it really tests your mindset because whatever goal you're going after, you need to have at least a foundation of your mindset that you can do it and have the positive reinforcing habits, or the positive reinforcing mindset to start making strides in achieving those habits. So for me, just for starting off with the new year, it's, not giving up when you don't feel like doing it. And I feel like, maybe not everyone, Christopher, you're in Australia. I don't know what the weather is there right now, but here in Boston, we just had a crazy snow/ice storm. And I was still up and out this morning on my morning run. But I know for a lot of people, when things start to get challenging and, it's cold out, you don't feel like doing it, we start to give up on our goals. And when we start to do that, we start to not believe that we can even accomplish the goal. So then today turns into tomorrow, I don't feel like doing it, and so on and so forth. So I remind everybody that even when it gets challenging, maybe you don't have to play full out. Maybe you can't go running because this morning was very challenging for me. The sidewalks were complete ice. But maybe you can get out and still go on a walk. Maybe you can still do some other form of fitness, if fitness is your goals. That was just one of my goals, to still keep moving forward and making progress, because that's going to help build a better mindset and the belief in yourself that you can do it. And when you start accomplishing those little goals, when you set bigger, more ambitious goals, you're going to be like, oh, I've already done the little things. You'll have more confidence going after the larger things.
I love it. So you get ice on the sidewalks, so use ice skates. I'm just kidding.
I'm sure some people here do. All right. I wouldn't be surprised.
But I love what you just said. It's that, today turns into tomorrow turns into next week, and so forth and so forth. And one of the things that I do tell people is, if you faltered, It's okay. Don't beat yourself up, but go ahead and start again. Don't wait till tomorrow. You can do it today. You can do it right now. So don't beat yourself up for it, but just get back out. You fall off a bicycle, you get back on, right? So this is what we need to start reminding ourselves, because the gyms are still full of people who made a commitment, but come February, man, the gyms are going to get less and less packed. And Christopher, I'd love to hear your take on this, my friend.
I think that's a brilliant place to start with, Erika. The fact that everybody, so many people make those New Year's resolutions that they go full on into the new year with this new list of how to become a new them, a new person. By the end of this year coming, I will have achieved all of this amazing stuff. And it is absolutely achievable. But like you said, people fall off a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks into what they put out for themselves to achieve. And it's only with that strong mindset, that set of disciplines that you have for yourself that allow you to push through and keep going and keep growing and keep expanding. And it was really evident in the gym here where I am and where I go, that leading up to New Year's, where now I hit the gym at 2:30 to 3 a.m. every morning. So there would be sort of nobody start to turn up. And then you would have people start to turn up around 4:30, getting closer to New, then hit New Year, and a couple of days after, or the week after, it would start to fill up at around 4:15 in the morning. And it was so obvious as to what was actually happening. And then already, only a couple of weeks into the new year, it's now faded away. And when people can set themselves up in such a way where they've got this set of disciplines that they work by, that is only for them, that only can work for them, then that helps completely shift their mindset to keep on pushing through on those special occasions, on those special nights or days that usually you would prefer to sleep in and just have the time to yourself or with your family. But you can step up and keep moving forward, because one of the most incredible parts about mindset and disciplines, that if you can push through these disciplines to start your day in this one area, then it filters out into every other area of your life and completely changes how you see and how you work in every other area. So mindset and disciplines play huge roles in changing and creating your life.
Yeah, absolutely. But a lot of people, they think that mindset is, oh, you have to do this because I want to earn more money. I want to have more family time. But they forget the most important person in this dynamic, which is us, right? Ourselves. We need to take care of us so that we can be there for business, so we can be there for our families. And a lot of people, and I get this because they maybe they have children, and I work so hard for my children, and I work so hard so I can provide. But if you're not healthy, you're going to eventually pay the price, right? And you're going to pay the price because you either have to go on medication, maybe you have to go see the doctor more often than not. I was telling Erika before, I had a little cough, and it's just, I don't know, I just had a little. So she says, "Are you sick?" I'm like, no. Actually, I haven't been sick in like way over 30 years. And when you think about that, and I take 0 medications, and the reason is because of the way I treat my body. It is a gift. This body of mine is a gift, and I cherish this gift. And every morning, I get a choice of how I'm going to treat this gift. Right? Just like you do, Christopher. I mean, most people are not waking up at 2:30 in the morning. You've changed the schedule, right? You've changed your schedule to adapt
Completely.
to your lifestyle.
That's right. And I mean, look, I am completely and was completely not like a gym person ever, but it's not about the gym, and it's not about the time that I'm up at the gym, because all this stuff that happens from these disciplines, it's just another thing that happens because I'm changing my mind and I'm changing the way I process, and I'm pushing myself into those adverse times that I find challenging. Originally, I was getting up at 5 a.m. I used to go to sleep at 5 a.m., but I love my sleep. And by pushing myself that little bit further and further and challenging myself, I'm reprogramming the way I think and my muscle memory, the way my body actually reacts and acts in certain situations. So my alarm goes off at 2:30 and I am instantly up before I even have a thought about staying into bed. I've programmed the way my muscle reacts every time the alarm goes off. Now, I went to bed a little bit earlier today. I went to bed around 9 o'clock this evening, so as I could be up and have the energy that I needed for today. And when the alarm went off, actually, in fact, the alarm didn't go off today because I got up 5 minutes before midnight. And that's what happens when you can change your mindset with the set of disciplines that, again, only suit you, that are only for you. You reprogram and restructure the way your body actually goes about its day. And now for me, it doesn't matter what time the alarm goes off. I'm instantly up, regardless of the hour, the actual hour, it happens. So it's incredible to see how it works like that. And again, it then filters off into every other area, whether it be relationship, business, or anything else into your life. It's just incredible.
And
It
if I
sure
could,
is. Go
could
ahead.
I jump in really quick on that? So it's interesting too with that whole tying both of you together then, that when we train our bodies through our mindset to do things like we get up at a certain time, it's okay, it's normal, and to not wake up like sadly so many people, at least here in the US, do. You set your alarm maybe 30 minutes before you have to get up, you're rushing, you're like, oh no, I got to get out of bed, you're like grabbing coffee, you're like eating donuts, you're like on the go in this reactive, constantly trying to just rush through life and just responding to things around you, which I believe, and I think I've shared a little bit that I'm on my journey to becoming a doctor. So I love tying the science in with it. And when we train our body to not be in that constant state of stress and responsive and overload, it helps our body stay healthier. Our bodies, like you said, Christopher, will adapt to be like, okay, this is just normal. I get up, I go about my day, I have plenty of time. There's nothing to stress about. So when a stressful situation does arrive, our body's like, okay, that's fine. This is going to be a short situation. Let's like get through it and move forward. Instead of burning out our bodies by, I won't go into everything, but with hormones and everything, and our body just being on overload of like constantly being exhausted from trying to take in too much information, that we're not meant to be in a stress response cycle all day, every day, from the moment we wake up until the moment we go to bed. So by having a better mindset and setting these daily habits and disciplines, and there's a lot of benefits to working out in the morning and getting hormones regulated right and getting your body feeling well and just going about your day, it really does help you stay healthy, full circle, and prevent you from becoming sick, because your immune system's going to be in better, it's going to be working properly. So I think it's amazing, a lot more of the benefits, like we already talked about a little bit, that it's not just about money, it's not just about business, it's about taking care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself as the first line of defense, I mean, you can't give anything to anybody. You can't try to go out and make more money. You can't spend the time you want with your family. And, it's just kind of thing I personally question then, what is living if you're not even doing it at your best, feeling your best? It starts to not not really be the, well, what is quality of life then? So
because then that's the best part about it, is that once you train your mind and you see all of this other stuff happen. So whilst I might go to the gym, I'm not going to the gym to get fit. I'm going to the gym for my mind. But all this, I'm getting fit, and I'm fit, and I am losing weight, and then I start the day, like you said, with clarity of mind is incredible once you do something like that. And then it then offshoots into the people you see and the people you meet, and then the business meetings you might have, and the relationships that you're in. All of this comes off the fact that you have redisciplined yourself and have changed the way that you are from within. It's such a clarity of mind thing, and I don't think people realize how powerful it actually is to do something like this, and to see how it just works, and then you attract to you incredible things, because you walk out and you're vibrating at such a high energy level, such a high frequency, that nothing, it's impossible not to attract things to you at that level.
And if I, sorry, can I add one more thing quickly?
No, go ahead, Erika.
So I'll say this came up with a few of the people I'm working with right now, that exact point, right? They feel better, but there's that voice in their head that's telling them that they're not good enough, to give up, who do you think you are? And I didn't realize this until people stopped working out and they were falling off. And I was like, what's going on, guys? Like, why are you not just doing the basics, to start your day and start feeling well? And that's when people were telling me, like, I have this voice in my head that's telling me, I don't look like everybody else in the gym. I don't belong here. I was like, this is what you have to do. You have to push through it and tell that voice to be quiet, because you're in control. Like we talked about, you are the one in control of your thoughts. Sadly, somehow you've allowed those thoughts from the outside world, wherever, maybe from childhood, maybe from things you watch on the TV, whatever it is, to make you think and believe that's your truth. But you have a choice, and you can tell it to be quiet. And that's not easy. I won't lie and say it's necessarily easy. It's going to be a battle you'll have to face every day, face to face, and say, no, I can do this, be quiet voice, and push through anyway. But I find that people I work with a lot, that's, one of the challenges. Even though they feel great, that voice, that mindset thing, until they, do it for months on end, it takes the repetition of going through it to finally break that habit and be like, no. The feeling of the end of my workout and crushing it and feeling amazing for the rest of my day outweighs that stupid voice that's telling me otherwise.
Yeah.
And
my favorite subject, thoughts. Like, don't get me started on that. That is like the power of thought. Thought creates everything, right? It absolutely creates everything. And that's one of the things that people come to me for, and what I teach is how to control those thoughts, and so they don't control you, because we live our life under basically a subconscious program where we just do things day after day, moment after moment, based on this underlying subconscious thing that just happens, like our heartbeats, we breathe, we don't think about that. Well, we react so many situations without even thinking, and it's all because we've had a thought, then we've had an emotion, and then now we've reacted to that. But when you can finally see the way it works, and then you can catch these thoughts and emotions when they come in, then it allows you to grab it in the middle and decide what to do with it. So like those thoughts where people are falling off and they're fighting this battle, and everyone does it, and I'm the same still. By the time my thoughts catch up to me, I can be standing in front of the mirror in the morning having this full-on battle. But by the time this battle's happen, like I'm literally a third person watching this thing and listening to this thing in my head. By the time it's done, I'm fully awake, and they always win, because it's like, well, you're awake now, so you might as well just keep going. It's a matter of seeing the thought and then either allowing it to sit and do what it's going to do, but you're still witnessing it. So you still have control over what it's going to do, and then you decide, okay, I'm going to sit and watch it for a while. Oh, I'm just going to flick it off over here, or I'm just going to go with it, because, it's okay to go with it sometimes too. But the fact is, you've seen it, and it's so powerful. I love thought. It just creates everything in our universe.
It does. It's living with intention too, if you think about it, right? Because when you set your intentions, then that is the power that you put behind that thought. Because if your intentions are, I'm going to wake up like you did, Christopher, at 12 o'clock a.m. In order to, and you even said, I said, oh, you can go. I said, I'm going to start my day earlier today. It's just a slight change because you get up normally at 2:30 a.m. So you're only getting up 2.5 hours earlier, but you set your intentions and you even woke up before your alarm because in your mind, that thought was there. So your intention, and you knew you wanted to start your day earlier because you agreed to be on this show. So when we do that, we can stop hitting the alarm clock every morning, like, oh, hit it. And then I know people that put it across the room, they put it somewhere else. They have 3 alarms. And one time I saw a very funny image, and I held on to it. It's an iPhone, but it's elongated. It's about 20 inches long, and it has all the different alarms that somebody would be putting on it. Because if you think about it, people keep hitting the snooze button. So it's how many alarms or how many times do you hit the snooze button? Because what happens is your intention is not there. Why do we even set an alarm clock? I like you, I wake up before my alarm. I don't know even why I put an alarm clock. I think I do it because I think when I was younger, I used to be the one that used to hit the alarm clock. And now I don't know why I put an alarm clock, because sometimes I'm up an hour to an hour and a half before my alarm clock. I usually get up around 4:30. Sometimes I'll be up at 2:50, and I'm like, okay, I'm awake and I'm not going back to sleep. So immediately I say, I'm not going to stay here and just be like, oh my God, I'm staring into nothingness. Let me do something. So I think that you, Chris, have developed what most people want. And what I've learned also is that we can create a 36-hour day from everybody else having a 24-hour day.
And if you add up those hours, it is crazy. Like, it's just crazy. But it's the people go, well, but I can't get up at 2:30. Okay, well, that's just a thought, but it's okay. Let's just start. Like, get up an hour earlier than you normally do, whatever time that happens to be. If it's 10 a.m. in the morning, get up at 9 and start from there. It's those baby steps that grow into the massive powerhouse that you end up having behind you when you set those disciplines for you. And I keep saying that they're your own disciplines, because my set of like rules that I basically put on myself don't necessarily suit anybody else, yet they're mine, but that's also why I push through them, and why I make sure that they are ticked off every single day, and every single one of them are done and are completed, because they are designed for me. And that's why it allows me to push through and get it all done in the time frame that I've decided that they should be.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that you said is get up an hour earlier. It doesn't have to be, and if it's even 10 o'clock in the morning, get up at 9. But, I'll be honest with you, for some people, that is terrible. They will never accomplish it because it's too big a goal. So what if we did 5 minutes earlier? So one of the things is we're talking about actions, but the actions have to become habits. So what if you started 5 minutes earlier and you did that every day. And then later on you go, well, you know what, maybe I can do 10 minutes. So, but we have to take small bites of something sometimes, because not everybody is built the way you and I are, and Erica, who we can put our mind to it and do it no matter what, because sometimes the price of the gain that we have is worth it. But to some people go, I can never get up an hour earlier. And it's the can't, the four-letter word, right, that hurts us. Instead of saying I can get up 5 minutes earlier, I can. Right? So it's creating a new habit. And one of the things that in creating a habit, it's keeping it simple and keeping it easy and attainable. So that's why some people will go to the gym and they'll start, but they don't continue. Why? Because they're trying to do what everybody else is doing. Everybody, instead of saying, hey, you know what? I'm not going to go to the gym and spend 3 hours at the gym like everybody else is doing. I'm going to go to the gym and I'm just going to walk around the gym. I got to the gym. There it is. And I do that for 7 days or 20 days or whatever. And then later on, now instead of me just walking around the gym, I'll actually try one of the pieces of equipment. Maybe I'll get on a bike, or I'll get on a treadmill, or I'll try the weights, or I'll do that machine. Also, fear sets people in the I can't do it attitude. So once they overcome that small fear, is just go into the environment, step into it. And maybe it's not the gym. Maybe it's, listen, you're already walking in the gym, right? That's huge for some people. That is huge, huge. I run a martial arts and fitness facility. I had a woman call yesterday, and I said, how'd you hear about us? And she said, one of my friends told me about you guys. And she said, I have to go to you. I said, okay, what are you looking to accomplish? She goes, oh, so much. I said, well, start with something. What do you want? She goes, I've gained a lot of weight recently. I said, okay. She goes, and I want to get stronger. I said, okay. And I want to do this and I want to do that. I said, okay. I said, well, why don't we start by you coming in? When are you coming in? And so that way I didn't put pressure on her. It's just come in. Let's have a conversation. Let me show you the facility. And then you can make a decision, how often you want to come and so forth. But we have to start small sometimes.
Because it's all, people see the gym and they think it's workout, lose weight. They think all of this external stuff, where the gym isn't about that. It's starting with the mind, and everything that comes from that is an offshoot. So by just turning up, not do anything, like you said, just walk around, you're already starting to train and retrain your mind about going there. It's never about the results from the gym. People go to the gym looking for results. That's when they fall off, because they can't see the results happening quick enough. If they're going to the gym to train their mind, then that's what sticks them there, because they are growing day by day. Every time they step foot in that gym, that's an expansion of mind. That is pushing through a barrier that they once had in front of them. And that's the key to it, is not looking at the gym or any other activity that you want to push through. Look at what you're doing first to get to that point, because everything else will just happen from there once you retrain that part of your mind.
Oh, yeah. When you consider the small steps that we can take, and Erika, you're going after a goal, and it's not a small goal. But if you imagine that to be a doctor, that you went to, I'm just going to go for a little while and then I'll get what I want. That's not real. That's not realistic. And we lie to ourselves, and we think if we go to the gym, I'll get the results I want. And then you go to the gym, and instead of working out, maybe you start talking to people, and then you're hanging out and you're not doing a thing. And then after the gym, you go, I'm going to go get some fast food or whatnot. And even though you're going to the gym, your actions don't give you the results you want. And then you say, well, that stuff doesn't work. So if Erika says, I'm just going to go to school for a little while, and I know things. I don't need the instructor. I know more than the instructor, and all these things. And this stuff is not working. I'm out. You'll never achieve your goal. So Erika, how long will you practice medicine for once you achieve your doctorate?
Sure. Honestly, I'll practice it for the rest of my life. I mean, I love motivational stories. Like one of the oldest, or not one of the oldest practicing neurologists is 98 years old, and he's still practicing medicine. And he's in great shape, like you said, taking care of your mind, your body. It's fascinating to see. And I mean this respectfully, but and I can say from my own experience with my father, he's passed away now, but in his 80s, just how he didn't take care of himself and trying to change his habits later in life compared to other people who, take care of their body, move their body, are cognizant of what they're putting in their body, and just how it really affects longevity and the quality of life. And to quickly go on that, and I could never get him to go to the gym in his 80s, but I can make him do the stairs with me daily, right? And little things like that increased his mobility so much. All of the nurses that would always come to the house and help out with him, they were always amazed. Or like, he is better off than it would seem in his notes from what his medical conditions are. And it was like those little tweaks we talked about. It doesn't have to be all the way. It doesn't have to go to the gym and do this grand thing at his age that was, unimaginable. If I took him one day to do that, the next day for sure his mindset just wasn't there to go back. It would have been too taxing. But to do the little things, get him slightly out of his comfort zone into moving in the better, started to help. It started to make a difference, even with his food, right? I mean, he was if many of your viewers are from Boston, I mean, he was an old Irish, person from Jamaica Plain. So what that means is like, he loved meat and potatoes. That was it. And sweets that, trying to get him to break away from anything like that, to get fruits or more veggies in his diet was just not happening. But slowly I would add little things in. I would find what he would like. I would try to adapt his diet to just help get more nutrition in where I knew from his doctor we needed to be working on and improving those areas. And just to circle back, we were talking about maybe that our minds love comfort and love doing the same thing over and over again. But the beauty is we get to choose what that comfort looks like. And if we want to push outside that a little bit every single day to grow. Problem is, a lot of us, we get stuck in these habit loops of doing the same thing over and over again. So when the new year comes, we want to go to the gym. We try to do it all at once. Like we've already talked about, right? We live in a society where we want instant results right now. And we think, all right, if I go to the gym for a week and I just really work out every day, I'm going to have my dream body. Instead of thinking about this for a minute, right? Let's put in the mindset of how long did it take us to get to where we are now? Has it been 5 years, maybe 10 years since you haven't worked out, you haven't eaten right, or maybe even a year, right? Maybe it doesn't have to be a long time, but you have to then take that into account. You can't undo all of the actions you haven't been doing in a week. And again, it's not to tear anyone down, it's to motivate you and be like, okay, you're right. So let's give it a year. For 5 years now, 10 years, I haven't hit the gym. Let's give it one whole year of truly committing and going, walking around. Let's start off walking around. Let's start off maybe working on the treadmill, for a week. Let's see how it feels. Now I feel more comfortable. Maybe I can ask some of the people who are weightlifting, hey, could you show me how to use that? Or let me just watch them and be like, hey, can I just observe? I mean, I do that sometimes with some machines. I mean, I feel like I'm a lot more comfortable now. But when I was getting started, I'd be like, how do you use that? I'm not quite sure. I don't want to like, mess up the machine or hurt myself. But there's nothing wrong with that. It's just outside of our comfort zone. It's something new that we as humans, we tend to get so used to just our comfort zone and thinking, well, if I break out from it, something scary is going to happen. And nothing scary is going to happen. The world is not going to end. We're not going to get eaten by a predator like in, was what our prehistoric brain is telling us. But to keep going. And like, I love that Chris keeps bringing up, it really does all start with your mindset. I like how you keep stressing that point, because it does. It starts with our thoughts. We get to control our thoughts. Mm-hmm. Being more in tune with them. I mean, I also get up early. I don't get up at 2:30 in the morning, but I get up normally around 4. And I love spending time with myself first thing in the morning and seeing what my thoughts telling me for the day. And it's not easy. Some mornings I'm like today, it's cold outside. Do you really have to go on that run? And when those thoughts start to enter my mind, I'm like, I have to go on my run now. I have to go do this, because I don't want that to turn into my new habit. And it's easy sometimes to just give ourselves an excuse and be like, yeah, you're right. It's, 20 degrees out. Who wants to go running in 20-degree weather? And it's not about the weather. It's not about getting the run in. It's about pushing through and doing it anyway when you don't feel like doing it. Like you said, with medical school coming up, I mean, it's going to be a long, long journey, but I can't just be like, oh, I don't agree with what people are saying. I guess I'm just going to give up. I guess, this is the end of the line. I don't even know what I would do. I have thought that part. I was like, if I go a different path, what would I do? Is like, there is no other path, So if you can find that point in life where you want to go and there's no other path, then just go. Don't prolong it. Don't let any other thoughts deter you. Just go.
We are living in an instant gratification society, if you will. This is why people have microwaves, and they stand in front of the microwave and like, oh, it's taking too long. Right. And it's the same thing when somebody says, I've been doing this for 30 days. I only lost 1 pound. I'm like, well, how many pounds do you want to lose? Well, I want to lose 30. Well, that might be 30 months if you're only going to do 1 pound. But remember, initially, you may lose more weight in the beginning, and then later on, because it's water weight, later on, it may be slower. And that's when people give up. So it's either or. And then, and you said it perfectly, how long did it take to put it on? Mm-hmm. So that instant gratification, well, I have a wedding coming up. I have to lose 30 pounds. I said, well, when's your wedding? Oh, in 3 months. I'm like, yeah, that's never going to happen. I said, you want me to lie to you? Or you want me to be honest with you? What would you like to hear? You want the truth, or you want, you sugarcoat it for you? And then a lot of people they think a year? Erika, are you crazy? You want me to give this thing a year? Meanwhile, it's cheaper to pay a personal trainer than to pay your doctor. It's cheaper to pay a personal trainer than to pay to stay in a hospital bed. It's cheaper to stay in a hotel than a hospital bed. You choose, right? What do you want to pay for? So if you do go to the gym, and it's a scary place, and people go to the gym and they're like, oh, I don't want to pay for a personal trainer. Why? Why don't you pick their brain for a little bit and spend a little money? What if you were spending $30 a week or $50 a week, or maybe it was $100 a month to go to fast food places, and you take that $100, don't go to the fast food places, eat at home, and take that $100 and pay a personal trainer to teach you the basics. And then the next month, maybe you hire them for 1 session. You don't want to hire a personal trainer for $5 because they're not worth it. Don't ever hire somebody because they're cheaper. Mm-hmm. Hire somebody because they have the skills. So sometimes somebody who has the skills may be a little bit more expensive. And the reason I say that is because I don't want somebody who's cheap. One lesson that I was taught very early on, is I knew this lady, and she would buy the most expensive clothing, the most expensive everything. And her husband worked so hard, and she acknowledged that he worked hard. And one of the things that he said to me is like, I work hard because my wife wants quality stuff. I get that. So
Mhm.
as a young person, I was like, well, can she buy the same blouse instead of she used to buy blouses that were $500-$600, and I'm like, you can buy the same blouse for $30. And she said one thing to me. She goes, but I can keep this beautiful blouse that I bought for $600 for the rest of my life. I will cherish this blouse. If I buy something for $30, it will last me a little while and I will never cherish it. So the things in life I want to cherish. This is why I buy quality and I don't buy cheap. She goes, because I don't want to be cheap with myself
Mhm.
or with the people in my life. And she was very generous. Anytime when she gave a gift to someone, it wasn't the money that mattered to her. It didn't matter how much it cost. The quality is what she was looking for. If it cost $10 and it was quality, she would spend the $10. But if it was $1,000 and it was quality, she would buy that. So it was not about the price for her. It was the workmanship that went behind it. How long will it last? And when we consider our health, how long will your health last if you cheapen out on the things that you do? One of the things, and you talked about running, two things that I tell people that are really critical. If you're going to run, your shoes are probably the most important thing you need to put on your feet.
Yeah.
And if you're going to hit like boxing, you need to have the best possible gloves. Don't buy cheap. And so your hands and your feet are two things you want to protect. Don't buy the cheap sneakers. You can, and they sell cheap sneakers, but buy the ones that were made for running. If you're going mountain climbing, buy the ones that are made for mountain climbing. If you're doing a cross training type of thing, buy cross training sneakers. Don't short yourself by going cheap.
Agreed. I can't tell you how many running shoes I go through. I run all the time, so I'm constantly buying them. But no, I agree. I invest in them because I made the mistake once years ago, probably over 10 years ago, when I was still in the Navy and bought cheaper shoes. I was like, man, I go through shoes so much because I run so often. And I was like, no, I can never do that again. My feet hurt. I was like, this is not worth it.
And if you just think with how the majority of us are brought up and what we're confronted with in society, we're brought up to and essentially programmed from the moment we're born to look for the cheap things, look for the sale items, look for the things on the bottom shelf. This is the way we need to live, is by getting all of those cheaper things because they're on sale and they don't cost very much. Imagine if we were told the opposite from the moment we were born, where we're told to look for the things that we desire regardless of the cost. Look for the incredible items. Don't sell yourself short, basically. We would be a society that goes out looking for the best thing that we want, not need, the best thing that we want for our own reasons. It would lift it would lift everybody's frequency to that next level because we're out there looking for our desires and getting our desires instead of choosing or having to make that choice. Well, I've got $10, so I'm going to buy the $2 shoes, or I've, always looking for that sale. Black Friday is a really great example of
Yeah.
the craziness that we're all programmed into. It's the same item the day before, yet because we're all, no, we need to get this at this price because it's a cheap price and it's going to be good and it's going to be better because, well, what are we putting out there? You know, we're putting out there, the world is a mirror. Okay, so what we project out reflects back to us. So if we're consistently after that cheap thing and waiting for those sales to come along, then that's what's going to come back to us twofold. You know, we're only going to find those things. And from a finance point of view, that's all you're going to be able to afford is those cheaper sale items. It's an incredible mind shift when you can look at that and go, you know what? No, I'm doing this. I'm running. I'm going to buy the best possible shoes that I can buy to make myself feel good and comfortable when I do that, instead of going for that bottom shelf sale every single time, which we all have done and we all basically do at various times because of that subconscious programming that we've just been brought up with, essentially.
I want to thank you both for a very engaging conversation and really deep if you think of it. But I want to leave everybody with this thing. You're worth more. You are worth more. You need to take care of you. Your mindset is critical, as we've heard it here over and over. Your lifestyle will determine your outcome, right? If you are going to live, just to eat fast food, come home, sit on the couch and watch TV or whatever, you will pay that price. But if your lifestyle is a healthy lifestyle and you're engaging and you're having conversations that are worth having with people who are going to help and lift you up, then that's your lifestyle. So remember, no matter what lifestyle you want to choose, you are the one making the choice. So don't complain later on in life, right? Don't complain, because in reality, we have a choice. Choose wisely, my friends. Choose wisely. What would you like to say as we cap this off, Erika?
I'll follow up with what you said. I mean, you get the choice, and it's never too late to change your choices, right? It's if today you're like, oh my goodness, that's me, I want to change something, but I've been in my habits for maybe 50 years, you can still change today. Sure, maybe you're going to have different hurdles than if you were in your 20s, because again, how much time is compounded of those choices of coming home and eating fast food and sitting on the couch. But don't let that deter you if you want to change. It just has to take time. But you have to start today to put in the time, right? And I always look at it that, well, where do you want to be in 5 years then, or 10 years when you're 60 or 70 or 80, hopefully in many years beyond that, right? You can't let your past and your past actions make you feel like you're not worthy and that you cannot make the choice today. That because you've lived your life a certain way for so long, that defines who you are. Every day you get to get up and decide who you want to be. You can get up today and decide to go be a cowboy. I don't know. You can be anything you want. What do you have to do to become a cowboy? I have no idea. But if you want to do it, you'll find a way to do it. We have amazing resources. You have the internet. There's people out there, I'm sure, who know how to do it, to go about doing it, whatever it would take to become it. But you get the choice each and every day. So instead of making those same choices and just staying in that habit, start working on the mindset, make the choices now, and then, be happy for the better tomorrow. It will come. It'll take time, but it will come.
Yeah, absolutely. Christopher, thank you.
Yeah.
What would you say?
I think exactly that. Like, you aren't who you think you are. You're made up of all these other things that have happened around you from the moment that you were born. And when you can see and start to realize that who you believe that you are, that you actually aren't, that's when you can be present, stop living in past present moments or future present thoughts, be now, and decide to change exactly what you believe that you have been for your entire life. Start to change that to how you believe that you should be, instead of this made up entity with thoughts and actions that aren't you. Start to see your thoughts, start to realize that you are more than what you believe that you are, because you can create your own life, create your own story. Go for it.
Let's do it, people. Go for it. You are worth more. Thank you both. Do me a favor, hang out for a second. I want to say goodbye to everybody. Make sure that you follow the show, that you let people know about it. Come back. We're here every Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Make sure to have yourself an exceptional day. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.